I'm John Fensterwald, an editorial writer for the San Jose Mercury News, and with me today is Teresa Alvarado, who is our community member to the editorial board, and we're interviewing candidates for the Santa Clara Office of Education, which is a big job and a growingly important job in our community. There are 7 seats, 3 of them are up, and today we're starting with Trustee Area 1. And that is the area that covers Palo Alto, Mountain View, half of Sunnyvale. And our 2 candidates are Grace Mah and Santiago. The county office is runs a $285 million budget, and it runs programs for juvenile hall and some alternative programs for at-risk children, special education programs, and it has some oversight of low-performing schools under a state obligation, and it's primarily a service provider to the 33 districts in our county. So Grace and Ellen, why don't you start off by saying what you currently do and why you're running. So Grace, why don't you start?
Sure. So I'm currently a community volunteer, full-time mom, and I'm an incumbent right now for the Santa Clara County Board of Education Trustee Area 1. I am as some people say, recovering engineer. I used to work for Hewlett-Packard and Agilent Technologies for 18 years in high tech. I had a number of positions in R&D, in sales, in manufacturing, and in program management. So I've done a gamut of activities inside of Hewlett-Packard and Agilent. Really enjoyed it, and got laid off in the dot-com boom. So I got more involved with my children's school, got involved with education in general, and have been lucky enough to be on the school board now for a year and a half.
So Ellen, what do you currently do, and why are you running for the county office?
I'm currently a web content manager for Stanford University's Hoover Institution, and I'm a former teacher. I'm very interested in education and keeping our schools top-notch and helping the students succeed, and I'm interested in reducing the achievement gap. So I have a lot of interest in education and seeing our schools succeed, so that's why I'm running for the board.
Thank you. So let's start off with just a little bit of past. So Ellen, let me ask you how you thought that the county board handled the departure of previous superintendent Colleen Wilcox and the hiring of the new superintendent, Chuck Weiss.
I think it's always a delicate situation when somebody leaves under less than the best of circumstances. I think the county handled it as well as they could and professionally as they could. And I think the hiring of Charles Weiss has been a smooth process. I would have liked to have seen a little bit more coverage about his hiring, a little bit more information about him. The public can go to the website and find more information, but just kind of reach out to the public and to the different districts. I would have liked to have seen a little bit more, but overall I think it was handled very well.
So Grace, the hiring of the superintendent is really the primary job of the board. So looking back, would you have done it a little differently? How do you think it ended up?
I think we picked very well, and we're very fortunate to have him join us. Our process in choosing the superintendent was pretty extensive. We started off interviewing headhunters, and so there were a number of headhunters that answered our RFP to be able to help us do this executive search for our superintendent. And we chose a firm that was very, very competent in the California arena, very experienced in connections with all sorts of school districts and superintendents, and knowing the difficulties, if you will, of trying to hire someone into California, especially from across the country or from outside of the education system. So we used, shall I go ahead and say your name? So we went ahead and used California Associates, Leadership Associates, and they were fantastic. And they went through a whole process which they do for county superintendents, which is a really big process, including a lot of community input. We sent out all sorts of messages and notices to interview and offer to meet with community members, different superintendents, school districts. We met with board members. We took inputs from a lot of our community partners as far as the foundations that we work with, the different associations that are deeply affected by our work and office. We took input from all kinds of staff members of the county office too, to see what kind of superintendent that they wanted, what were the traits and characteristics that they would see would be most beneficial and needed. And so putting that all together, they went out and searched, and using all of their connections, came up with a number of very, very fine candidates. We went ahead and interviewed all the candidates as board members and decided on Dr. Weiss, and luckily he said that he would take the job. So it was very, very diligent process. I thought that that Leadership Associates did a fine job for us, and that all the board members too took it very, very seriously to attend all the meetings and understand what the board, what the community and the staff and all the superintendents and districts, all of our customers would really want in a superintendent.
Thank you.